17.
Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens was once very powerful. It was a center for art, learning, and science, and was home to many important writers and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today. The most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. The Parthenon was a temple built for Athena, a female Greek god. It was filled with many beautiful statues. Some of them are still there. Others are in museums around the world. There are also many modern, beautiful buildings and several palaces in Athens. The first modern Olympic Games were held in Athens at the end of the 19th century. After the Second World War, Athens' population
Can you give me some information? What would you like to know? Well, I've been to Los Angeles many times, and I've seen all the famous sites. I'd like to see something different. You've been, Harvard? Yeah, and I've seen the homes to movie stars. You've been to, didn't you? Yes, and there is one near Tokyo, so I don't want to do that again. You've gone shopping on the Rodeo Drive? Yes, and my mom doesn't need any more, doesn't have handbags, shoes, or watches. Yet, Universal Studio? Yes, and I've been to the one in Osaka too. You've seen the stars of famous actors and exercise on the work of fame? Yes, like I said, I've already seen all the famous sites. Can't you recommend something else? Well, I've lived here all my life. I don't do much tourist stuff, but I can tell you about my favorite restaurant, and there are a couple of museums that I like. That would be great. Could you write them down for me? Sure. That's nice to meet someone who does something different. Athens is the capital and the largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the oldest cities. Athens is once very powerful. It was a center of art, wrestling, science, and was home to many important writers and politicians. Democracy was also born at Athens. Many buildings or works of the things survive in the city today. The most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. Parthenon is a temple built for Athena, a female Greek god. It was built as a very beautiful statue. Some of them are still there. Others are other museums around the world. There are also many modern, beautiful buildings and several palaces in the Athens. The first of modern Olympic Games was held in the Athens in the 19th century. After the Second World War, Athens' population was very first. 38 crossbows factories and too many vehicles became the serious problem. The government built a new road that surrounds the city and makes the subway system much bigger. Now the quality of the environment is much better. The climate is mild, but the city is quite hot in summer, so it's best to visit in spring or fall. The city has a new, very modern airport and many high-quality hotels. People interested in culture will enjoy it very much as it's many theaters and musicals. Sports are also very popular in Sen, and it's home to the Olympic Stadium, which was built for the 2004 Olympic Games. It is the most beautiful stadium in the world. The city is surrounded by mountains, which are very nice places walking and climbing. There is also a door market. Outdoor cafes, restaurants, or delicious Greek food like salad with cottage and roast meat, fried seafood, and many types of fresh bread served over fish eggs or delicious garlic and yogurt sauce. It warms the essence just for the wonderful food. So, 짠.
Can you give me some information? What would you like to know? Well, I've been to Los Angeles many times, and I've seen all the famous sites. I'd like to see something different. You've been to Paris? Yeah, and I've seen the homes to movie stars. You've been to, didn't you? Yes, and there is one in Tokyo, so I don't want to do that again. You've gone shopping on the rodeo, right? Yes, and my mom doesn't need any more doesn't handbag, shoes, or watches. Yet, Universal Studio. Yes, and I've been to the one in Osaka too. You've seen the stars of famous actors and exercise on the work of fame? Yes, like I said, I've already seen all the famous sites. Can't you recommend something else? Well, I've lived here all of my life. I don't do much tourist stuff, but I can tell you about my favorite restaurant, and there are a couple of museums that I like. That would be great. Could you write them down for me? Sure. That's nice to meet someone who does something different. Athens is a capital and the largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the oldest cities. Athens is once very powerful. It was a center of art, wrestling, science, and was home to many important writers and politicians. Democracy was also born at Athens. Many buildings and works prove all the things still survive in the city today. The most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. Parthenon is a temple built over Athena of female Greek god. It has built the most beautiful statue. Some of them are still there. Other museums around the world. There are also many important, beautiful buildings and several palaces in the Athens. The first of modern Olympic Games was held in the Athens end of the 19th century. After the Second World War, Athens' population was very first. At the end, it closed both factories and too many vehicles became a serious problem. The government built a new road that surrounds the city and makes the subway system much bigger. Now the quality of the environment is much better. The climate is mild, but the city is quite hot in summer, so it's best to visit in spring or fall. The city has a new very modern airport and many high-quality hotels. People interested in culture will enjoy it very much as it's many theaters and musicals. Sports are also very popular themselves, and it's home to the Olympic Stadium, which was built for the 2004 Olympic Games. It is the most beautiful stadium in the world. The city is surrounded by mountains, which are very nice places walking on the climbing. There are also outdoor market, outdoor cafes, restaurants, or delicious Greek food like salad with cottage and roast meat, fried seafood, and many types of fresh bread served over fish eggs or delicious garlic and yogurt sauce. It warms the essence just for the wonderful food.
Where are you right now?
I'm in my house.
Oh, I see.
Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. It has a history of modern. Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens Athens was once very powerful. Athens was once very powerful. It was a center for art. It was a center for art, learning, and science, and was home to many important writers and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today.
Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece.
Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece.
Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece.
Capital and largest city Greece. Capital and largest city in Greece. Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece.
It has a history of more than 3,000 years.
It has a history of more than 3,000 years. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities.
Which makes it one of the world's oldest cities.
Which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Which makes it. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it.
Athens was once a city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest years, which makes it one of the world's years, which makes it one of the world's oldest years, which makes it one of the world's years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities.
One of the world's oldest cities. One of the world's oldest cities. One of the world's oldest city, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens was once very popular. It was a center for art, learning, and science.
Athens was once very powerful.
Athens was once.
It was a center for art, learning, and science.
It was a center for art, learning, and science.
And was home to many important writers and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens was once very powerful. It was a center for art, learning, and science, and was home to many important writers and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today. From old Athens still also born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive, also born in Athens.
Many buildings and works of art from old Athens
still survive in the city today. The most famous are born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today. Born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive. Born in Athens.
From old Athens.
Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today.
Old Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens. Old Athens. Old Athens. Old Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens.
The most famous buildings and works of art was also born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old also born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today. The most famous one is the Parthenon of the Acropolis. The Parthenon was a temple built for Athena, a female Greek god. It was filled with many beautiful statues. Some of them are still there. Others
Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens was once very powerful. It was a center for art, learning, and science, and was home to many important writers and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from all the centuries still survive in the city today. The most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. The Parthenon was a temple built for Athena, a female Greek god. It was filled with many beautiful statues. Some of them are still there. Others are in museums around the world. Athens is the capital of the largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens was once very powerful. It was a center for art, learning, and science and was home to many important writers and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today. The most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. The Parthenon was a temple built for Athena, a female Greek god. It was filled with many beautiful statues. Some of them are still there. Others are in museums around the world.
Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens was once very powerful. It was a center for art, learning, and science, and was home to many important writers and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today. The most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. The Parthenon was a temple built for Athena, a female Greek god. It was filled with many beautiful statues. Some of them are still there, others are in museums around the world. There are also many modern, beautiful buildings and several palaces in Athens. Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens was once very powerful. It was a center for art, learning, and science, and was home to many important writers and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today. The most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. The Parthenon was a temple built for Athena, a female Greek god. It was filled with many beautiful statues. Some of them are still there, others are in museums around the world. There are also many modern beautiful buildings and several palaces in Athens. The first modern Olympic Games were held in Athens at the end of the 19th century. After the Second World War, Athens' population grew very fast. Dirty air caused by factories and too many vehicles became a serious problem. The government built a new road that surrounds the city and made the subway system much bigger. Now the quality of the environment is much better. The climate is mild, but the city gets quite hot in summer, so it's best to visit in spring or fall. The city has a new, very modern airport and many high-quality hotels. People interested in culture will enjoy Athens very much, as it has many theatres and music halls. Sports are also very popular in Athens, and it is home to the Athens Olympic Stadium, which was built for the 2004 Olympic Games. Many people think it is the most beautiful stadium in the world. The city is surrounded by mountains, which are very nice places for walking and climbing. There are several outdoor markets. Outdoor cafes and restaurants serve delicious Greek foods like salads with goat cheese and olives, roast meats, fresh seafood, and many types of fresh bread served with olive oil, fish eggs, or delicious garlic and yogurt sauce. It's worth a visit
It's
to
worth
Athens
it
just for the wonderful food.
wonderful food. Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens was once very powerful. It was a center of art, learning, and science, and was home to many important leaders and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Many buildings of the works and old Athens still survive in the city today. Most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. The Parthenon is a temple built for Athena, a female Greek god. It was filled with many beautiful statues. Some of them are still there. Others are in many museums around the world. There were also many modern beautiful buildings and several parties in Athens. The first modern Olympic Games will be held at the end of the 19th century. After the Second World War, Athens' population grew very fast. The air caused by factories too many vehicles became a serious problem. The government built a new route that surrounded the city and made the subway system much bigger. Now the quality of the environment is much better. Climate is mild, but the city gets quite hot in summer, so it's best to visit to spring or fall. The city has a new, very modern airport and many high-quality hotels. People interested in culture will enjoy very much as many theaters and music halls. Sports are also very popular in Athens, and is home to the Olympic Stadium, which was built for 2004 Olympic Games. Many people think it is the most beautiful stadium in the world. The city is surrounded by mountains, which are very nice places for walking and climbing. There are several outdoor markets. Outdoor cafes, restaurants serve delicious food like salad, good cheese, horse, roast meat, fresh seafood, and many types of fresh bread sauce with olive, fish, or delicious garlic and yogurt sauce. It's worth to visit Athens just for the wonderful food.
Athens is the capital and largest city in Greece. It has a history of more than 3,000 years, which makes it one of the world's oldest cities. Athens was once very powerful. It was a center of art, learning, and science, and was home to many important leaders and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Many buildings of the works and old Athens still survive in the city today. Most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. The Parthenon is a temple built for Athena. It was home to many important leaders and politicians. Democracy was also born in Athens. Many buildings of the works and old Athens still survive in the city today. Most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. The Parthenon is a temple built for Athena, a female Greek god. It was filled with many beautiful statues. Some of them are still there. Others are in many museums around the world. There are also many modern beautiful buildings and several parties in Athens. The first modern Olympic Games will be held at the end of the 19th century. After the Second World War, Athens' population grew very fast. The air caused by factories and too many vehicles became a serious problem. The government built a new route that surrounds the city and made the subway system much bigger. Now the quality of the environment is much better. Climate is mild, but the city gets quite hot in summer, so it's best to visit spring or fall. The city has a new, very modern airport and many high-quality hotels. People interested in culture will enjoy it very much, with many theaters and music halls. Sports are also very popular in Athens, and it is home to its Olympic Stadium, which was built for 2004 Olympic Games. Many people think it is the most beautiful stadium in the world. The city is surrounded by mountains, which are very nice places walking and climbing. There are several outdoor markets. Outdoor cafes, restaurants, some delicious food like salad, good cheese, horse, roast meat, fresh seafood, and many types of fresh bread sauce with olive, fish, or delicious garlic in your sauce. It's worth to visit Athens just for the wonderful food.
Many buildings are works of art. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive. Many buildings and works of art. Many buildings and works of art. Many buildings and works of art from many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive. Many buildings and works of art from old Athens still survive in the city today. The most famous one is the Parthenon on the Acropolis. The Parthenon was the temple built for Athena. The Parthenon was a temple built for Athena, a female Greek god. It is filled with many beautiful statues. Some of them are still there. They are in museums around the world. There are also many modern beautiful buildings and several palaces.